Welcome to the Legged Podcast. As you all know by now, the Legged Podcast is powered by Monterex. Make sure you head over to monterex.com and take advantage of the 15% off they offer if you type in Legged at checkout. Monterex have been the main sponsor of the podcast for a while now, and their gear is a belter. So head over to the website now and take full advantage of the Legged promo code. So before this episode starts, if you do enjoy the Legged Podcast and you do want to support us for just £1 a week, you can on Patreon. And with doing so, you get early access to all our episodes and an extra weekly episode of me and Jordan just chewing the fat. Thanks for the support. Nice one. What's happening, everyone? It's the Legged Sportscast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan.
You forgot to say my name.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I didn't know whether you were going to go sports fans or the standard one.
Just forgot my name. Happy Friday, everyone. Massive shout out to, again, Monterex, their clothing and Health Kit Kitchen. Links are in the bio. You type in Legged at checkout for Monterex, Legged 20 for 20% off there, and Legged 10 for 10% off your Health Kit Kitchen. Fucking Jordan makes the loudest noise ever drinking his bottle of Lucasade.
Do you know what? I don't know what happened there, but that burn going down there.
Right,
Sorry.
It's Friday. Hope you're all having a good one. Good weekend planned, hopefully. Footy is back.
Thank fuck.
I think we start off there, George, Footy.
Hey, the last week, I don't even remember last week's show that clearly, but it just felt like there was a big hole in the middle, didn't it?
It just felt a little bit...
hollow. Yeah.
Get
this big dick energy up.
Yeah, we need some BDE and listen, the Prem is back. Let's just touch on the internationals.
Them fucking laser boys have big dick energy.
Did you see how many lasers on Mo Salah's face, lads?
Shouldn't laugh, should you? Like, it's bad, like, but...
I feel sorry for him. I mean...
Couldn't see a fucking thing there.
Not that he was going to win the World Cup, but obviously for him, taking Egypt to the World Cup was obviously a big deal.
That'd be his last one?
Well, how old is he now? 29?
29, so... Yeah, so you say for argument's sake he's 30 by that World Cup, he's 34, isn't he? It's just going to be a slow cycle by then.
He's obviously still going to be going, isn't he?
Yeah.
He'd be going as a fucking ball boy if needed, lad.
Yeah, he'll be there, like, but he'll be like coming to the back end, won't he? Not back end, but won't be the player.
They wouldn't have never have... That's what does make it interesting. I mean, I know it's a great honour to represent your country at a World Cup, but it's like, come on, Mo, how gutted are you, lad? You would have went out in the group stage anyway.
Yeah. To be honest, though, it's different.
I don't know.
It's a different mindset for them because they do see it as like the ultimate, like, what's the word? The ultimate pleasure in it, playing for your country. I mean, I think differently, but...
To go to a World Cup would be fucking amazing. But if I'm going to sign off of Mo any little words of wisdom, it'd be, lad, you would have went out in the first round anyway.
Save your legs for PSG's fucking pre-season camp.
Don't even start. Don't. It's not only Mo, though. I've seen a thing there.
They didn't shine it on... They didn't do it on all the players, though, did they?
I don't know. I didn't watch them.
No, it was just like... There was just like... Some pens, it was okay. And then other pens, it was like every laser that's ever been created just getting zoomed in.
There's a good few big stars, though, that are not going to be at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Haaland isn't going to be there. They didn't get through.
Isn't he, no?
No. Obviously.
Now, that's big because Haaland is obviously at this point of his career where he's trying to get to being the best player in the world, isn't he? And I think to do that, you do have to perform on the international stage, don't you?
Yeah. So he's not going to be there, obviously. Italy didn't qualify, so
that was mad.
Gino, all of them, you know, some big players.
Your England bet might be on.
What bet?
You said they were going to win the World Cup, didn't you?
England, I said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your England bet might be on.
Selling it. Well, not if the England fans keep on getting on Harry Maguire's back.
Boo!
How do you feel? I think the England fans listen to our sports show and they know what a bell Maguire is.
Geordie and Andy think he's crap.
For unfollowing me on Instagram.
Great. That is you've got some pale stories, but that's the best by far. But
Harry Maguire mugging me off.
No, it's the Lovato I used to send to him saying, "Come on, lad, come be a red."
Ah, but he used to be proper bang into them back, sending them back to me, and then signs for United and fucks me off.
Do you reckon he went through his following and be like, right, we're just got to clean your Instagram up?
Listen, social media is not real, we all know that, but I am genuinely right. I want to know at what point he went
wanker.
Unfollow him.
Yeah. I reckon it was one of your drunken motivational. Listen.
Might well have been.
Harry Maguire like that in bed, oh no.
He's a bellend.
Yeah. But, nah, he's in a bad... I don't condone the booing, but I don't condone booing full stop. If you're a grown male adult. You should not be booing at any point.
What are you allowed to do then? Tell them to fuck off, or you can't? What can't you enjoy these real? But what can you do as a fan?
How can you stand on like the terrace and go boo?
When you say it like that, you sound like weird. It sounds like a melt.
It's so
boo. Yeah,
boo,
I get what you mean.
Boo.
Yeah, but so you don't get a bit riled when there's a bad ref decision, or like
Yeah, but I don't boo
when. Yeah.
No, I'm playing. I'm having a joke, but
No,
the idea of booing is weird, isn't it?
Well, it's funny. You make a great point of a grown man. I remember when we beat Barca 4-0 and Suarez and Coutinho were there, and Suarez was being a rat as per. I was going
booing.
sick. Yeah, I boo. But
damn you, Lewis.
I felt like embarrassed the next day. I was like, oh my god, he's a grown fella, and I'm like, boo, you're a rat.
He is a rat. But
what I don't get though, the England team, Maguire, from what the odd England game I did watch, has done quite well for England.
I haven't watched any, but he's like, I thought it was everything's got a bit far-fetched. When it was only like a small section of it was similar to what Gomez got. There's a small section that booed it. It wasn't a majority, was it?
No, well, if you're going to bring the Gomez thing up as well, it was interesting to see Kane's point afterwards. Kane come out and kind of defend the Maguire, whereas when Gomez got booked, he done a kind of great game, perfect night and stuff, and didn't.
I understand it because Gomez is not what they would view as an integral part of the team. I get it. They're probably closer to Maguire, stuff like that. I was a bit shocked at Henderson doing it, but I guess it's a PR campaign at that point, isn't it? They've probably been asked as the senior players to put something out. Do you know what I mean? To get behind them, and they've just obviously got on board. But
do you think Maguire's bothered?
No.
Surely he's got to be a little bit.
Nah. Bothered by what?
The fact that everyone thinks he's shit.
That's what I mean. No, Twitter's like blowing it up, similar to like Will Smith and Chris Rock. It's been blown up by social media. If you look at it in isolation, it was only a small section of Wembley booing. He gets it every single week.
I think arguably what made his week even worse was when they done that rondo in training.
Oh my god, he just stopped the ball.
What's he like?
Do you know what?
I've never played a game of professional football in my life or took part in a football training session, but I know what a rondo is.
You'd get by.
I'd get by. One touch, don't kick it to the guy in the middle.
Do you know what that is though? His mind's working so hard to not make a mistake that he's just bang. Do you know what I mean? But there's a clip of him. Not to just. I'm sure he doesn't listen to this. Well, he might do, just to throw darts at you. But there's a clip of him playing for United against. I don't even know who it's against, but like he goes to head it back to the goalie, and like he heads it up in the air, and then he's chasing his own header. Then he heads it somewhere else. Then he runs into Luke Shaw, and it bounces around, and someone just slots it in. I don't know what the game is, but like you can just like, I feel sorry for him. You know what I mean?
I don't.
But like it's getting to that point where it's like he's embarrassingly shit at the minute. But he just keeps getting put out there for United, doesn't he? Captain and stuff.
Yeah. So there was that, the Salah miss, Maguire the boot.
What's your Luke there? Oh, your Luke say just nearly no lid on it.
Right. The other international, which was quite funny, was Gareth Bale.
He's my man, Gareth Bale.
He's no fucks given there.
He has got the best life. He built a 9-hole golf course,
Was he, yeah?
So he picked 9 of the best holes from the courses, paid someone to replicate them on a slightly smaller scale, built it, and like just plays it with his mates.
Where? In
Madrid.
Spain?
Yeah, that's why he won't leave. He's got Gareth Bale's the man.
Favourite Gareth Bale moment for me, forget the goals, forget that one for Tottenham where he just runs past it into right back, forget all that.
Yeah.
Mycon, was it? That where they get the flag and it goes Wales, golf Madrid.
And he's loving it.
Oh.
He knows though.
But did you see the media, which I thought were really harsh? There's a mosquito with Gareth Bale's head on it.
Yeah.
Like just sucking
the life out.
But
he made the reply pretty much what Maguire probably should have done. Just like, it's water off a duck's back now. It doesn't bother me. Gareth Bale is probably, in my opinion, one of the most mentally strong footballers that there's ever been, because when you talk about abuse, he has had some of the worst, and what he's done at Real Madrid is unbelievable. Yeah.
He's scored in some of the biggest games of their past history,
and they've booed him. They've waved like Whyte, like they've tried to get him off. They've abused him in every way they can, and he performs every time. Yes, he's not the player he was granted, I'm probably sure he'd admit that. But he still delivers the big moments. That free kick, mate.
Yeah, he's done great for Wales.
And he'll continue to do it. But I think what he's done is, one, I don't think he's madly in love with, like, club football, like, being part of Madrid. I think he knows what he is there. But he's took ownership of his own career. He's just gone, this is when I'm available for my country, and that's it. You want to pay me, don't. I'll move elsewhere, I don't care.
Yeah.
And obviously the difference, what people will say there is, well, if everyone did that, and you say, yeah, but he hasn't always done that. He's had an unbelievable career.
Oh, yeah, yes.
He was the best player in the Premier League for a while, when he went at the best team. Went over to Madrid, which loads of players have tried to do, and absolutely smashed it. And he's carried Wales for a number of years. Top boy, Bale.
It's quite funny that we said last week about how much we hate international football. I don't think I actually watched any of it, but there's been quite a few stories that have come.
Yeah. I only watched Bale's free kicks in the highlights, and I just flicked just to hope England get beat, but then I see any score, they go, bang, God, get it off.
Yeah. Now they won 2-0, was it? Or 3-0?
I hate them.
2-0 or 3-0.
Still go out the World Cup when you get it, you know.
So we are, before we touch on this weekend's Premier League, what I thought was interesting is, on the last bit on England, obviously when Rashford and the boys missed the penalty, they were all massively racially abused. A teenager, has just been given 6 weeks in Nick.
Good.
Which is a strong stance. You know, you could argue it's only 6 weeks, but it's, you know, it's hopefully sets a precedent that you can, you know, be a dickhead and be racist.
What you'd have to do with that, and we've said it before, for example, if you just go back to this podcast 2 minutes ago where we're having a joke about Harry Maguire, they have to make it clear the lines between a joke and abuse. And you can never ever pull comedy out of life. Like, people skit me, people skit you, we skit each other. You can never start getting all, you know, defensive about that. But obviously there's a line, isn't it? And when you start to, you know, bring people's colour, like religion, all this stuff into it, then obviously you cross that line. And as long as they make it clear, look, if you cross that line, the consequences are jail. I bet you it stops.
Yeah, Canelo's given Maguire shikes. He doesn't know
how to edit, yeah. Rondo, yeah.
Rondo,
he doesn't know how to do anything, but yeah, that's different between, you know, if we were there like just slandering his, you know, his ability as a father or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a completely different ballgame.
Before we switch to the Prem, Ruud van Nistelrooy, what a player he was, by the way.
A heavy player.
PSV manager.
He was a killer, wasn't he? In front of goal.
I remember I went through a little phase of just backing him first goal every week. Yeah. Because he was just like...
Do you know when you talk about deadly strikers? He was one of them, when Liverpool played United, just like, fuck, please don't land to him.
He scored in, it was a record I think at the time that it's been broken, I don't know, but I'm sure he scored in like 7, 8 or 9 Premier League games in a row.
He's proper deceptively quick as well. He looks slow, but then he just roasts people.
He was big as well, wasn't he?
Very strong, yeah. Because in that point, obviously there's that famous thing with Keown and stuff, but centre-halves were really physical in his sort of, and he held his own. And I think when he come to the Prem, they tried to label him as that, didn't he? Like, he's a lovely technical footy player, but he's a bit soft. But in the end, he proved...
I rated him.
Yeah. Him and Henry, that's as good as it gets.
It's just great, though, that all these managers, players, like brilliant players are managers now. You know, your Lampard, Gerrard, Vieira, Van Nistelrooy's, Henry's maybe, well, he's had to go in, I think, Belgium.
Who's the best Prem striker ever is?
It's got to be Shearer, hasn't it? It's just the sheer numbers of goals he scored.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Did I see though that Luis Suarez, right, is something like the 3rd ever most assists
in the Prem?
Like ever?
Is he?
Like,
or what? Just
ever?
In football?
Ever?
Yeah, but fucking 85% of them would just square it to Messi, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I suppose.
They go through and goal, and he's like, right, I'm about to score for Barcelona, and Messi goes, no, you're not. Just gives the ball. All right, sorry. But
I'd say Rooney or Shearer.
If you were building a team, would you put Shearer in ahead of Henry? Nah, Henry was a player, you know.
He was, but Shearer was just probably the ultimate, though.
Bit before my time, Shearer, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but he's got about 250 goals.
Oh, I know, it's absurd. Like, and he was obviously playing for Newcastle at the time.
Exactly, Newcastle.
Yeah, I know.
You know what, I don't believe Shearer when he says... Yeah, Henry was unreal. But when he gets asked, doesn't he, do you wish you'd went to United when they come calling? He says, no, I'm glad I went to my boyhood club, Newcastle. Bullshit.
Lies. You failed the lie detector.
Because he could say, oh yeah, but you know what? He would have scored 300-400
Gerrard's
goals.
the same. Fact.
Nah.
He is, lad. 100%.
Don't believe that.
If Steven Gerrard was as honest as it possibly could be, and they say, do you regret not going there to win a Premier League? He 100% does regret it.
Nah.
Lad, he does. Lad, he does.
Do you know why I know? Because he doesn't have that, although it ended in heartache, he doesn't have that running, like that proper Premier League running where he slipped. Granted, it didn't work out for him, but like he kind of got to experience a proper running. He had the Steven Gerrard final in the FA Cup, a couple other League Cups and stuff.
No, lad, I do, you know. I reckon the last thing Gerrard thinks about, maybe obviously not ahead of his family, no. I think there's a lot of moments in Gerrard's life where he goes, twat.
That's a hard moment to get over.
Oh. Do you ever remember where he was when he slipped?
I remember everything about it.
I do.
I was in the Windsor pub on Walton Vale.
I've never ever felt more heartbroken at that moment.
Yeah. But I remember people just started arguing. Like a few of the lads started arguing, bickering amongst themselves, and it was just the shittest Sunday ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, after it, like
because it was just
deflated the room.
It was just like, fuck off, no, but what? Well, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Oh,
Lad, honest to God.
Thanks for bringing it up, Judd.
I remember I was at university at the time, and I remember the one of the only times I had dough to go out that weekend. Like I had money, and I never sat. I just went to bed, and I don't know how old I was, but just lay there thinking, oh my God.
It was sad, wasn't it?
Me and my housemate, where does he, you know? He's obviously, me and him were Liverpool fans in the house. Oh, lad.
But you know the thing about Gerrard?
He went the game as well and drove back to Loughborough.
Well, I was at the Man City game the week before, and I was crying.
Yeah, because it was
cried
there,
at the game.
There, yeah.
I think we've won this now.
Oh yeah, that was the old doesn't slip thing, got it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
why have we gone here?
I know. But you know what I will say, mate? That question of what does Gerrard regret leaving? It's a question you will never ever know the answer to.
No, you
because
won't.
he will never ever reveal it to anyone.
But we, like, me and you are as close as possibly can be. We tell each other a lot of things. There's some things in your life that just in your, you might not even be conscious of them, but when it's just you in a dark room, you know, you know what they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his is that. Yeah. Gerrard's is that. And I bet he just goes, like, before he goes to bed, he just goes, looks at me and goes, up the chills. He's just got a little replica Premier League. He just goes, boss, yes. Get it down. Alex, you can come out now.
Chelsea top on and just has a little. Nah,
Chelsea.
Mate, on to Prem action. Liverpool are on to Watford. I'm thinking that I'm going to be at the game on Saturday. Ordinarily, just 12 o'clock at Anfield against bottom of the league Watford is going to be a shit game, shit atmosphere. However, this time we win, we go top of the league. I think it could be quite a tasty atmosphere at Anfield.
Yeah, and it's also the start of probably the defining period of Liverpool's. I reckon this next run of games, not that it defines Klopp's legacy at all, but it defines whether he goes down as like a fucking absolute. Because if he pulls this off this year, you're now talking about one of the best managers like of all time.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a defining period.
I think he's already kind of being compared and thingy with the likes of Shankly and the kind of the rebuild.
But that's on impact, innit, a lot.
Yeah, but with regards to sustained success. Yeah, I
think even as a manager though, if he does this with Liverpool,
if he does the quadruple, mate, fuck.
Yeah, he's then in the books for life.
Yeah,
and I think he, you know, to a certain degree, he already is classed as, you know, one of the best managers of the modern game. But I mean, if he pulls this off,
I mean, but even if he bags another, you know, 1 or 2 trophies, it's going to be it's a great period for Liverpool.
And that game's to start.
And like you say, it starts. Playing Watford. I hate 12 o'clock kickoffs on a Saturday, but you know what? I'm hopeful this could be a bit of a tasty atmosphere.
We have to win, just go there and batter them.
That's a 12 o'clock kickoff. Then you've got 3 o'clock Burnley against City. Can you see anything other than a fucking demolishing of Sean Dyche?
The Clarets. Tell you what, that's the sort of game City will drop points in.
I can't see it, but I'm hopeful. And then on the Sunday, you've got West Ham against Everton. Now,
Everton away?
Yeah, I'm very fearful to not go Everton bashing because, you know...
You've been told off.
I'm not even being told off, but I don't want this podcast to be like Liverpool this and, you know...
Yeah.
It's football, but...
That's a bigger game than ours.
But you know what? I'm in taxis a lot. and I speak to taxi drivers about football, Reds and Blues, a lot of Blues are resigned to the fact that they're going down, you know. I think you're the only one who thinks they're going to stay up.
Mine's out of hope more than fucking logic. But that is disgusting game to come back to. West Ham away.
West Ham away is a tough game.
It's a horrible game.
I've been to West Ham's ground and Liverpool drew, I think, or they got beat 1-0 and it's...
And they're the type of games, like, pretty cheap statement this, but Moyes knows how to win them type of games. Do you know what I mean? He's made a career out of it. Like, they're a tough team to beat, West Ham.
Yeah, I think they've been probably, you know, he's got to be up there for manager of the year.
100%.
You know, he's done brilliant.
Like, what he's done to turn his career around from where it was at. Who did he manage in Spain for a bit?
Sociedad, I think.
And at that point, he was becoming like a meme, weren't he?
Yeah.
And what he's done now, turned it around completely.
After United, he just had 2 or 3 shit jobs, didn't he?
Yeah. But that United job was obviously poison chalice, wasn't it? But what he's done at West Ham, he's done a good job there as anyone in the league in terms of the way he's turned them around. He's making the likes of Rice pretty much want to stay. They were battling
relegation last year.
Yeah, and they're
the year before, was it? But yeah.
I mean, Everton, you know, you just don't know where the next win's coming from, but that's a horrible game.
I can't see them, I think, at best a point.
I think they'd smash your hand off for a point.
I think you'd be very surprised if they won.
What odds are Everton? They've got to be big there, you know.
I think, yeah.
Oh, not from a betting sense, just to get a general reflective thing of.
I love those things where they go like, you know, it means like I'll say 17-2.
Yeah.
So basically, what that means, if you put £2 on, you'll lose £2.
Yeah.
The 16-5 there. So what, just over 3-1.
I thought they'd be a bit bigger, to be honest, bro.
You know what? I just think West Ham are odds on 4-5. I think I wouldn't be touching it on a betting front. But I just can't see Everton.
No, that's a very, very tough game now. Very tough.
I guess the positives for Everton is the 2 rivals. Obviously, Watford are playing Liverpool.
You'd imagine.
And Burnley.
You'd imagine 0 points across the board for a week, isn't it? Move on to the next round of fixtures. But you know,
I'd say so.
It's Premier League football. You just never ever know, do you?
Fucking bit of a fucking cliche, that, George.
It is though, lad. As I say to you, it's not the best league in the world, like they say, but it's the most entertaining.
I think we're done then for Footy and else you want to do.
It was good to have it back. We must have done a little stint there.
Yeah.
20 minutes or so.
20 minutes or so on the old Footy being back.
Up the togger.
Someone commented saying we should do non-league stuff a bit more.
I'm into that. Yeah. Let's do that.
Start picking up a bit of non-league stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've seen the Mayfair, which is like a local.
Yeah.
They went to the
semis, was it?
Yeah, the semi-final. I think they got beat, but...
Did they, yeah?
It's good. How much of Footy in Liverpool, mate? The business houses, like we spoke about with Paddy Lacey, the business houses, especially at the top end, is as good as, you know, some semi-professional leagues across the country. There's some top players down there, mate.
We start looking into that more. Quickly on horse racing, we've got obviously the Grand Nationals next week.
I cannot wait, mate.
I'm still on a high from Cheltenham, to be honest.
Shut up.
One little story that did break this week was the bullying thing.
And Robbie Dunne got his thing.
Robbie Dunne. It was 18 months.
10 now, isn't it?
It's been now 10 for the bullying.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. Like, you set your precedent, didn't you? You know, why you take 8 months is a fair bit. You know what I mean? To take off.
I don't think any ban ever stays the same. It's like what you say, what's the point in giving them a ban and then...
It's a bit like, I know this is a bit extreme, but it is a bit like jail sentences, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what
where you're doing
what
half,
is what is given is not often what you do. You know what I mean? You probably do like a third on tag or something like that. But similar with bans, it's like if you're gonna set a ban, set a ban.
It's gonna be so interesting to know how that dynamic works for both of them now. You know, when they both go back to work.
Very tough, that.
Is she gonna be frowned upon a little bit? Like I can't say nothing to her because she might report. It's hard for everyone, isn't it?
The problem is it's still a male dominated sport. You know, you only have to go to Chester this summer, walk around the back, and you'll still see a couple of old jockeys having a bifter outside. Like, it's still a proper old male dominated weighing room. Although, you know, a lot of the best jockeys in the world are now female, Rachel Blackmore, Holly Doyle, the likes.
Yeah.
It's still very our men's club. You know what I mean? So I think she's probably going to have a more rough time than he is. But again, she done the right thing. He was clearly, you know, you don't have to read it to see that he was quite clearly a bully. But what message did that send to her? or to anyone else. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like, what's the point? I've just gone through that whole ordeal for what?
Yeah.
Stupid, but yeah, horse racing. Boxing, which is obviously my love, shoots itself in the foot every week. Horse racing is the only sport that outdoes it. for just tarring its own name.
One thing I will say, which isn't really got nothing to do with the horses, but the weather's meant to be pissing down next week.
I know, how bad is that? Better get them prawn shiny tickets, boy. Jesus Christ.
You best that.
It'll be me in the tat. You know what? Good thing though. Don't have to buy a new suit. Just get a coat and a jumper.
Exactly, yeah. Few little interesting stories, mate, from tennis. Obviously, Big Andy was giving all his money away. He's being beaten again.
Your Andy Murray witch hunt's unreal, yo.
I just someone give me shit about him because obviously I said he was shit. He's obviously not shit. He's an unbelievable tennis player.
I reckon we get him on.
But he's not making that much dough compared to what he was. Someone will go, he's already made £2 million this year. All right, it was a joke. But anyway, he got beat again. So
just tickle me that.
But another thing that I thought was interesting, talking about the money, and this is an interesting little debate. This.
Did you see? Did you see what's his face? Kyrgios, is that how you say his name? He's like, "Are you good at tennis?" And he was like, "No." He was like, "Shut up, then." And Ben Stiller was in the crowd.
Really? Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm not good at acting. You don't see me telling him how to act." And Ben Stiller was just like laughing along. But I think some fan or something was giving him instruction.
Really? Yeah.
He turned around and was like, "Are you good at tennis?" The fellow was like, "No." He's like, "Shut up, then."
Yeah. I have to watch that.
Fair point.
He's a bit of a character him as well.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
So one interesting thing is Emma Raducanu, and I said this about her the other week. I said she had a kind of meteoric, I can't say that, meteoric, is it?
Erotic, you went for then? She had an erotic rise.
Meteoric.
Just give up.
Whatever. A fucking big...
She went to the top dead fast.
Yeah. She went to the top dead quick after one great tournament in the US Open, I think it was, wasn't it?
Mm.
All of a sudden now she's Britain's number one. She's, I think, ranked top 20. And then it was a kind of like, right, she's going to be the next, Serena Williams almost. I think that's what it felt a little bit like to me.
Yeah.
It's obviously not planned out like that. I think she had a couple of injuries. She's changed coaches. She's had a few first round exits. It's not planned out for her. She's now had to come out and kind of hit back at claims that basically she's just cashing in on all these sponsors, and she's got some silly sponsors because everyone's seeing this kind of, wow, this is the next big thing. She's getting, car deals, jewelry deals, trainer deals, fucking dress deals. You
though?
And that's the debate. It's like, first and foremost, you're a tennis player, you need to be good at tennis. However, though, she's very marketable. She's very brandable, if that's a fucking word.
No, not 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think some of the critics have said, like, she's taking her eye off the ball because every time you look at her, I mean, I don't follow her on Instagram, but from the report I read, it's like 1 minute she's driving around in a new sponsored Porsche, and then she's got a new, this on, and she's come out and said, look, yeah, I have took on a load of sponsors, but I'm still training 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of balance, I guess, isn't it, for this new, the athlete in this day and age.
It's a gift and a curse, isn't it? It's like that win, I guess, has obviously transcended the career, but it's also put it in the spotlight way before she was ready.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you see it with footy players all the time. Phil Foden's probably next. They build you up to be something, and then you have a couple of bad games, bad season or whatever, and then it's like, you shit anyway. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, obviously, if you're asked would she have wanted to win the tournament, then I'm guessing she'd say yeah, because it's put her career under the spotlight, and she doesn't have to graft at it as much as she would have. But like, you can't put someone from there to there and then expect them to be perfect and just perform at that level all the time. Do you know what I mean? Because it's consistency, it's not talent, innit?
Yeah, I just think it's an interesting one with the sponsors about how kind of, I don't know. It'd be like this podcast, spending 20 minutes at the start saying this podcast sponsored by, and you're just reeling off like 20 sponsors.
Lucas Reid.
Yeah. It's, do you know what I mean? And I think, anyway, she got...
We wouldn't fucking reject it, by the way. She got called out on it, and she had to come out and say, look, I'm still practicing hard, etc. The thing is, like, anyone, you can't say, oh, she's focusing on sponsorship, focusing on tennis. What would you do? Would you have gone to them sponsors? No, thanks, I'm just going to concentrate on my tennis. And they're going, there's $5 million on the table there for 5 years.
Okay, and this is a great little segue into what else I wanted to touch on. Did you see, though, the King Richard?
I haven't seen the movie,
The
but
movie.
I want to watch it.
So it's
Someone might have died
just had a
there.
heart attack upstairs.
Or some crazy
Those
sex
fucking
scheme.
COVID fucking jabs are fucking having an impact upstairs. That was a joke. Fucking hell.
Censored, cancelled.
In the King Richard film, Venus Williams is playing, and then she's basically a pre-tournament kind of favourite, or they don't know what they're going to get with her. I think it's her first tournament, and I think Nike offer her a deal, or Puma do, and she's like a good few million, and she says no, and then going like, look, you're not going to get this offer again, you've never even played the game yet, come on, take this deal. She's like, no, and she ends up taking, like, I think the world number one. She beats the world number one in the first set, ends up getting beat 2-1, I think. And then after that deal, ends up getting like 10 times the amount she was going to get. And so she was holding out on those deals before getting the big one, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a bit like...
I think that's an anomaly though, isn't it?
You could maybe argue that Emma's been like, right, okay, every deal, give me a, you know...
Yeah, I think hindsight's a great thing, but when she popped the way she did, I was it like last year or something?
I think so, yeah.
It's hard to have the clarity to go, no. I guess I know some people do, but it's very hard to, because
I think
that's all she's ever dreamed of.
But that confidence and thinking, better deals are going to come.
Yeah, and I think only 1 in 100 would make that decision. Would be have the presence of mind to go no, further down the line. She's probably had a bit of bad advice here and there. She's had to swap coaches and stuff, but I don't think she should bear all the weight of
what people expecting her to win every year.
Because she won one massive tournament. Do you mean that's very hard to deal with?
So, speaking of King Richard, Sky Sports News app found a way of getting the Will Smith,
Oscars.
Chris Rock Oscar story in by basically replaying Serena Williams' Instagram story of her reaction to it. When me and you were speaking about it, she was just like, what the fuck?
Go Will!
So, you thought it was a blag.
Yeah.
Do you still think it's a blag?
100%, yeah.
I definitely don't think it's a blag. 100% not a blag. Do you know why I think it as well? No, this is off sport for a minute, but I've read Will Smith's book, right? And he says this mad thing in it where he witnessed his dad beat up his mum and stuff, and he's got this thing now that he's got this weird guilt with his mum, where everything he does, it's kind of like, hope this makes you proud, I'm sorry for not defending you when I could.
Yeah.
And he got this real deep sense of guilt that he didn't stick up for his mum when his dad was beating her up and stuff. And he talks about it in the book. And then this happens, added into the fact that I think he's become a bit of a meme, that his wife in this open relationship goes around shagging his son's friends and stuff, and he's got this kind of image of being a bit he's not a man, he's letting his wife go and bang other fellas. And I think he's just broke. He's just had a moment where he saw red mist and he's just broke, and you can tell where he's trembling when he's speaking. He thinks, this is my moment here to try and defend my wife's honour and get kind of some man points back, and I'm gonna go and do that.
But if red mist ascended, why is he smiling on the way back to his seat? Once red mist ascends, you know yourself, like, not that I've been in many situations where I've had to stand up and punch somebody or slap somebody, but once you're in red mist, you're gone, aren't you?
Maybe he's
gone there, and he's gone, right, I'm fuming, my one reaction is to hit you with a single slap, then turn around, walk straight back to my seat. It's all a bit calculated for me.
You don't know his wife's reaction, Jada. He might be smiling towards her or something. I don't know. I think he's immediately regretted it as well.
Just the way he hits him with like his fingers, and like Chris Rock like leans in like that. It's all a bit.
But this whole thing of Chris Rock's got a tour coming up, yeah,
doubled in tickets.
But but he would have had that anyway. That will have been one of the reasons he was doing the Oscars.
No, but nobody was watching the Oscars. The lowest ratings in like.
No, but I'm saying him doing the Oscars will have been as well, because he's got his own tour coming up as well.
I've seen something today though, like how far back Chris Rock, Will Smith, and Jada Smith go. Like,
but I don't get who's the winner out of that though. It's a bad PR move, isn't it, for Will Smith? Not
really.
Are you messing?
I bet you 100% Will Smith has had. Not that he needs them, but I bet you he's had. Fucking hundreds of people wanting to get him in the next movie.
No.
He's hot topic, lad.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons.
It's not the wrong reasons.
Everyone I've seen looks like a bellend.
Because some people agree with him. People even on telly going, I know there's like Stephen A. Smith is like, you shouldn't do that. It was like, blah, blah, blah. But then there's other people going, well done, Will Smith. defending your wife, doing this. I'm just saying, if someone offended me to the point of my wife in front of me, that really got me, I wouldn't throw a single slap and walk back to my seat. One singular slap. It would have been a scuffle, or, you know, you'd have gone for it or something like that. You don't throw one single slap and walk away.
But it does bring into account, get a bit deep this though, the whole Harry Maguire kind of booing him, giving him shit. At like what point is it you're allowed to take the piss and have a laugh about people and expect retaliation? And at what point do you say, well, listen, you know, we pay you, we put you on that pedestal, you know, take the shit?
I 100% agree, but when you're... So, Jada Smith and Will Smith, when they're sitting front and centre, which is another thing, you know, they're very conveniently put right in front of the stage where they're right by the steps.
He loves a conspiracy.
I don't, but, like, that's just... Why, obviously he was nominated, but why him right at the front and centre? Okay.
Well, they've got to sit somewhere, lad.
Yeah, well, just conveniently right front and centre. But what I'm saying is, when you sit there and you're listening to Chris Rock, one of the most... like one of the funniest comedians of all time, known for ripping people, ripping himself. You tell me they're not expecting to get a little bit of shit from a friend they've known for 20, 30 years?
Yeah. Listen, this isn't sport anymore.
No, but people want to hear it.
We're going to pick this up on Patreon, lads.
Yeah, this will be back on Patreon because, yeah.
Because you're chatting shit.
No, I'm right.
Right.
You sit there, Will, right by the stage. Oh, there's no security after the slap. No, not a fucking single. Kanye West ran on to disturb someone's speech and he was fucking armed guard.
What did you...
Will Smith goes on to slap someone.
Did you see Chris Rock though? He goes to give it one back.
Had he leaned in with his hand behind his back?
I don't know.
Good old Jorge Masvidal giving it one of them. Took one right in the chops.
We're talking about Masvidal. Fucking Chris Rock didn't press charges. Fucking...
He's in jug, isn't he? Kobe did.
What a bitch.
Not about that life, is he?
No.
Well, yeah, he still fucked him in the cage when it matters.
Mate, moving on to golf. Not much to report on it, but it's the Masters is not far away now, and
International weekend, isn't it?
Big Tiger
putting a little practice around in. Come, baby. 110 to 1, I'm reliably informed.
He is one of those people though, where if anyone is going to do that, it's him, isn't it?
He's a special human being, lad. He got a documentary on, was it Sky or something like that? And it was just, I know we have this debate, and I completely agree with you that it's all about hard work. I understand that, but some people are born for the moment, like born to be who they are, and he was born just to be a fucking phenom, mate.
And I'm going to disagree with it again, because if you've seen the work his Arthur had done with him when he was a kid.
No, I understand. You've got to do the work, but. It was in him, lad.
Nah, I know what you mean.
You know, you don't just... It's not all hard
I just don't
work.
like how you make out it's a fairy tale that certain people just, you know, someone just touches them on the head and they go, right, you are going to be,
I believe I believe you're born...
Roy of the Rovers.
But I think this fella's sitting in any pub who've got a fucking obscene amount of talent that they never acted on.
Yeah.
How many people do you come across who are unbelievably funny but they're not comedians, unbelievably good at, you know, impressions but they're not impressionists, unbelievably good at football, they never do anything. You get given the talent, it's up to you to work hard at it. But I just think Tiger Woods, he just couldn't have been anything else.
Yeah, now you listen.
Do you know what I mean? He's just he's one of, if not the greatest sportsman of all time.
At the moment I'm recording, he's in the mix with it. He's going to be going.
Which
is mad after that car crash, nearly killed him. You're mad.
I will, you know, as we said, we're introducing golf more and more to the Sportcast, but if he plays that, I will watch every minute of his rounds.
Same.
And I will back him.
Same.
Back him before Rory McIlroy anyway. I've lost some dough on him, you know.
On Rory?
Yeah. So all the majors, my good friend Will, who you met in Cheltenham, he loves golf. He gives me people to back, and I back them blind just to watch. Fivers, tenors, not mad. Rory McIlroy's always there, little loyalty bet, and just throw him on. Oh my God. Them fivers add up, boy. He hasn't won a major since like 2014 or something.
Really?
I've backed him in every one.
Golf's a sport as well, where you don't need to win to earn a fucking pretty penny.
Mate, not at all, no.
Just be in and amongst it.
Oh, that was like... we should have spoke about that the other week. Lee Westwood in his last tournament before Cheltenham. He was like 15 over or something. Missing a cup by miles.
Just to go to Cheltenham.
Just to get to Cheltenham, yeah. Love that.
You've finished the Drive to Survive, haven't you?
Yeah, have you started it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm on like episode 3.
Boss.
Yeah, I'm halfway through that, obviously, but the new F1 season started last week.
Charles.
With
Ferrari flying.
Lewis kind of just not kind of...
Do you know what, though? I know they have issues with the car, but obviously is going out and qualifying this weekend, the weekend just gone. They said it was a setup issue. I don't think it's as drastic as people might want to think. I don't think they're as quick as Ferrari and Red Bull, but I don't think it's as drastic as... But, like, you know what's mad? When you watch Drive to Survive and the likes of, like, Haas and all that, they're in these dire straits. And then with the new rule changes, because they're obviously powered in a certain way, they're now, like, keeping up with Lewis. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, everything's just gone flipped on its head.
So what I think's really interesting is, like, how the dynamics can change that quick.
Oh.
Just because of that little rule change.
I know. But it was designed to make... Obviously, it was designed with a lot of things in mind, but it was also designed to allow the cars to race closer to each other in order to, obviously, promote more intense racing. And, you know, the last couple of laps between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc this week, if that's anything to go by, mate.
Brilliant.
And them two, obviously, I don't know if you've seen
How many times did they go back on each other?
But they've been racing since, like, karting days, like kids. There's a little clip of them as, like, 10-year-olds or something. And, you know, I know we fell in love with the Max versus Lewis thing, but I'd fucking love to see like Max versus Charles, do you know what I mean? Two young gunners, but...
This one could be the next one.
I wouldn't write off old Lewis.
But to be fair, mate, you said, though, months ago, Lewis kind of had his doubts about whether, you know, they could kind of...
I was just me reading between the lines, but I think they obviously know these things are coming. But I think there's also a long way to go, do you know what I mean? And I think just the way the sport's now set up, I think there's just serious amounts of twist and turns still to come, do you know what I mean? And
Lewis came 10th, didn't he, the weekend?
So yeah, he got in the points, but, you know, I think he'll keep progressing and he'll have a say in whatever way it goes. But, I mean, I know it's the Australian GP next weekend, isn't it? And on Grand National weekend, but to be honest, mate, you know, I love boxing, love MMA, love football the most, but I find myself now more and more weeks just waiting to see it.
That Drive to Survive's a belter.
I mean, I wish every sport had adopted it.
I know.
Just do it, do you know what I mean? But I just don't get the access, especially in like the likes of football.
I wouldn't want the access to Liverpool, though.
No. You wouldn't want to know.
I like it to be the magic. I need the magic.
I know what you mean.
Mate, no UFC. You reliably inform me this weekend.
We're over to pay-per-view card next weekend. Volkanovski, boss card. So we just save that for then. Obviously, we've got Hamzat, who's on that card. Darren Till's best mate. Who's just, obviously, we spoke about him loads, but we'll have a big old deep dive into that next week.
Boxing then, lads?
Yeah.
Did you see how, like, the jawbreak, how he's managed to fight Warrington?
Oh, yeah. Fucking bad, innit? Whole face just lopsided.
I've seen his Instagram and he's, like, drinking. Yeah. He's drinking through a straw for
he usually has, like,
weeks.
a big feed on, like, the Sunday or whatever, and he's had to drink fucking liquid.
I think he was drinking, like, a proper watery porridge the next day.
Oh. Great performance, though. We were obviously at the James Bulger Memorial Trust black tie dinner, weren't we?
We was, yeah.
But caught up on it the next day. Really good performance. Good for him. Set up loads of fights at featherweight, you know, and he just keeps himself obviously back in the mix. But obviously Kiko's done, really. It was been done a while, but hope he got weighed in, because that's all you can hope for, innit? But you got Saudi's going to take Joshua Usyk, isn't it?
I've seen that. This whole, you know, notion of Saudi, obviously Gareth Southgate's kind of been told and warned about comments he's made about countries. Qatar, sorry, but those type of countries. It's such a weird relationship, isn't it? Where on one hand you slag them and you say, that, you know, they need to sort the shit out,
and then go, take that big bag of dough,
just fucking open the suitcase up and tell us what sport you want to play.
Exactly.
And it's literally that, isn't it? And
everyone's like, then what? Human rights? What the fuck's that?
Yeah, there were 72 beheadings, but there's also 72 million quid on this table.
Look at this. Joshua Usyk, yeah. I mean, some people saying it might be a cash out from Joshua. I don't really agree with that at all, really. I just think when you're saying it's in June, obviously it's getting a bit closer to the Premier League season, isn't it, for the likes of Tottenham and stuff. And then, I think they've just come up with money that's just stupid. Usyk obviously has said he stepped away from the ongoing war, hasn't he, to train. So he's probably been a bit like, I want to get paid proper this time. Obviously, he's taken the lion's share as the champion, so I imagine Usyk setting up his family's family with this fight, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he wouldn't have minded it going there. But that'll be another dynamic, like a Ukrainian over in, you know, a country as divisive as Saudi Arabia, you know, with everything going on, what sort of message he sends out, because if he wins that fight, he's then the talk of the planet, isn't he, for 24, 48 hours, what he says. And
mate, I think this is just a really, really, really bad move for Joshua.
I do.
Number one,
he's fighting and fucking angry now.
Number one, he got outschooled, outclassed, outboxed, outfought, everything. Number two, I can't see it going any other way.
No.
But number three, now, because of what's gone on in Ukraine, he's not just fighting against Usyk, he's fighting against the world. The whole world is going to be urging Usyk to win for the Ukraine. Joshua is just going to be the bad guy, no matter what. And
Usyk's going to have a lot of pent-up anger. And then times where he probably could have stepped on the gas and knocked Joshua out, he might just fucking press the fucking accelerator this time. The only chance I see Joshua having is if what's going on disrupts the preparation of Usyk in some way, shape or form. Like,
well, do you think he'd be out of shape and stuff? Do you reckon?
I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know how. Where's he gonna train? He's not going to train in Ukraine, is he? There's a farm in Ukraine that he usually uses where he, you know, literally closes himself off. It's like acres and acres of land, and he has a very small team, and they just do the work. Where's he going to go? Do you know what I mean? Where's he going to do the camp? So I think the only chance Joshua's got is if Usyk is 20-30% off it.
Got it disrupted.
Yeah, and he's camp, like, you know, he's not as in shape, or some of his coaches aren't there, or something like that. But I think if Usyk comes in prepared, he will obliterate Joshua this time.
I just think, mate, it's just such a bad PR move though for Joshua.
Yeah, it is. Like, he's backed into a corner though, Joshua, isn't he? Because, you know, you see it now, he's, for some unknown reason, well, we all know the reason, but now he's on Twitter and he's trying to act like a bit of a big lad and, you know, giving it loads. His back's against the wall, he's got to come out swinging. Like, if he gets beat again, he's just down as, yeah, Joshua was good, world champion, but, you know, when he fought the real fellas, he got chinned.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's his legacy, but that's how people will view it. You know, whether that's right or wrong, that's how they will view it. But I said it before the first fight, mate, I cannot see any way Anthony Joshua beats Alexander Usyk. I just can't see it. It's impossible for me. Unless Usyk throws it away, basically.
The other big heavyweight,
Tyson.
Retired
in 1 week, out the next.
Got tickets to that fight, haven't I?
You have.
I'll be going to that.
Dillian Whyte. Did you see the Barney on TalkSport?
Yeah.
I only seen a clip on
really
Twitter.
Interesting. So, have you not seen it all? The 10-minute clip?
Watched it all, no.
It's really good. Well, it's embarrassing in the sense that Dillian Whyte's lawyer and Frank Warren just go head to head on TalkSport on live radio, saying probably, you know, quite personal things that probably should have been left to the boardroom. And it's just interesting to know that, you know, Frank's saying, look, you know, you've not once promoted this fight. Dillian Whyte's lawyer saying, you know, you didn't ask us permission to use his photo. Then they're saying you never put the money in escrow. Then they're saying, well, you didn't say when we needed to, and all these, you know,
nitty gritties.
Like,
I'm not allowed to say that, am I? You told me off last
it's
time.
It's racist, apparently.
In
this woke world we live in.
Yeah, there we go. Cancelled. Bosh.
Yeah, it was just one of those. It was a little bit uncomfortable. It was exciting to think, oh fucking hell, God, what's getting said here? But then it's a little bit like, sad. You know, come on, don't really need to. I think at one point, Dillian Whyte's lawyer says, you know, I think we need to come off air and have a conversation, you know, privately. So yeah, there's a lot of animosity there, but I think between the teams as well.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's obviously now training with the drugs cheat.
Jarrell Miller.
Jared. What's his first?
Jarrell Miller. Why the fuck he's got Jarrell? He must have, honest to God, just got Jarrell Miller in that ring and just battered him. Because that's like me getting in there. Yeah. That's the level of ability.
Why would he have done that?
I guess it's the most lazy way of saying, I'm replicating Dillian Whyte. Because they might have similar dimensions as an athlete, but they fight not unlike each other. Jarrell Miller is awful, and that's why you had gallons of EPO just floating around the system, because he's crap.
Isn't it sad though, the fact that he's been a drugs cheat and yet he's still getting the big paydays just to train with Fury?
Yeah, but Fury's a man of the people, isn't he? He just like does all these good boss stuff, but then he just goes, oh yeah, EPO, no problem, here's a load of dough.
Yeah.
Come and spar me. Fucking war contradiction.
Where the world fucking followed them.
Mm. Do you know what? I think Tyson Fury batters Dillian Whyte, but there's a part of me that hopes fucking Dillian Whyte pulls something out of fucking...
Really?
Mm.
Nah, I want to see Tyson Fury win because I want to see him and Usyk or him and Joshua. I want to see those
You'll never
fights.
see Joshua Fury, mate.
Do you not think?
You'll see Joshua Fury when...
20 years after it should
No,
have
both of them
happened.
have been... I would say 5 years from now. Tyson will have been an actor for a bit. Joshua will have lost a couple, won a couple, and he'll do it. Canberra all over again.
Which will be sad.
Yeah, but I mean, there's Tyson Fury calls for every fight, but there was a reason he was like putting us down as on the Usyk fight because it's just a lose-lose situation. But yeah, there's a part of me. I'm just sitting and think about it sometimes. Like, I hope Dillian Whyte's just on the ropes and just throws a fucking Hail Mary and just goes.
Do you think about these when you're having your phantom shits when your poor wife's looking after the kids?
I got pulled up on that today.
Did you?
Yeah.
On our Patreon episode, Jordan talks about when the kids are doing his head in.
No, I didn't say that.
He tells his missus he's going for a shit. And he just goes and sits on the bog for half an hour.
And thankfully, a couple of people said, listen, I do the same. What I said was sometimes in the madness of a house where I have a wife, a dog and 2 kids.
His wife's pregnant, by the way.
Yeah. Sometimes, or in the past, I have just gone to the toilet.
In the past, yesterday.
I've gone to the toilet and pretended I need shit to take 5.
He's the thing that gets revealed on Patreon. He forgets that his wife listens on Patreon support. Just
so yeah,
dropped himself in it.
Emily got home from work today and he was a bit of a...
Any phantom shits today?
Yeah, there was a bit of an awkward conversation going on, but look, I'm not a perfect man. I know many people think I am, but I'm not. I'm not a perfect man.
Perfect unless you need the lift off him.
Fucking hell, I got a video of you coming out yours today, actually. That's going up later. Just like that. Oh, you there? I just finished my tea.
Oh, whatever. We're a good team, lad. We're a good team.
Yeah, a good team.
Must say at this one point as well, for anyone who does see us on Patreon, we have these
you don't hate each other.
Heated debates. I love them. You know, he's my best mate. Love him to bits. We don't hate each other. We just give each other a lot of shit.
Look what we're doing for your fucking entertainment. But yeah, I think we had a discussion this week about you'll have seen on Instagram about people on Patreon kissing Andy's arse. I think people thought we fell.
30-second roundup. I was a bit of a rat. We went to Cheltenham last week and we put some tips out on Patreon, which we will do for this weekend, by the way. But we put some tips out. After a few beers, I went against those tips and backed something else, and the horse I backed won. Jordan called me a rat. The week before, I managed to grab Jordan a ticket for the match. We went the match together. Jordan got off at the end, despite me saying, I'll get a lift home off you. I called him a rat. So there was this Team Andy, Team Jordan debate going on, and I basically won the debate.
You didn't.
So that's where all that comes about. But we do love each other, really. It's all good.
Sometimes.
I think that's it, mate. I'm happy that the Premier League's back.
I am. There's boxing on this weekend, but it's Florian Markey versus Chris Jenkins on Sky. It's worth a little gander, but not on crazy. Brad Ray's on there, who I put up last time for a knockout, and said he's one of the prospects to watch. He's out again, so yeah, keep an eye on that. But pacing for all that stuff these days.
Good stuff.
But yeah, not much else going on.
Well, listen, have a belter weekend. Yeah, support on Patreon if you want to see these little debates and laughs every Wednesday, and you get early access. The early access on Sunday is going to be Mark Roberts, who is the most famous professional streaker in the world.
Yeah.
He's streaked at the Super Bowl, Wimbledon, Crufts, Fred the Weatherman, seeing his hairy ass everywhere.
If you like sport though, he's got some crazy stories of streaking at sporting events that you could only dream of being at, i.e. the Super Bowl, and nearly getting shot and stuff.
So you'll get early access to that, as well as mine and Jordan's chat. So go and do that if you want. £1 a week, and the support is greatly appreciated.
And if you like arguments, you'll love it.
See you next week.